Hello, my little shut-ins, and welcome to the House Report, lock-in editions. It's exciting times when those of you in home detention are actually setting the example for the rest of us. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has the doomsday preppers more braggy than a vegan crossfitter at a butcher's. I can just see them now, having an orgasm while polishing the stockpile of high-powered hunting rifles and organising their MRE packs from barely edible to fuck, are we there yet? Then there's preacher Kenneth Copeland, claiming to cure the COVID-19 through the power of broadcast television. Now, don't get me wrong, I like a bit of bullshit like everyone else, but I prefer it served with a heavy dose of diazepam or Auntie Dot's special fruit punch.
Put your hand on that television set.
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Who the fuck put their hand in my honey jar?
He received your healing
Yes.
now.
I know it was you, Copeland.
There's nothing more appealing than a smarmy guy asking you to touch his questionably drippy hand, am I right? And talking of douchey nutballs, how about Keith Middlebrook? Now, it's alleged that Middlebrook of Judge Judy and Iron Man fame claimed to have the medicinal cure for COVID-19, inviting investors to give $300,000 for a $30 million return. Now, obviously, this man is totally detached from reality, and the numbers and stats are purely for the ignorant. And there's no surprise he's a Trump sycophant that loves to boast about his fortune. Wow, see the similarity there?
Hey everybody, this is Keith Middlebrook. Yes, I created the cure that shuts down the COVID-19 that makes the cells from the coronavirus detach, release, and die within 48 hours. And that took me about 6 weeks and 2 decades of studying. I'm more than qualified. Cell tissue, chemical biology for over 2 decades. I also created the prevention cure, meaning the pill that I take every morning, I'm immune to catching the coronavirus.
I'm kind of happy my speculator missed this one. So, Dan, if you're watching, up the ante on 3M masks and please sell my shares in full contact body yoga. Namaste. Gleefully, Middlebrook was arrested in an undercover sting by the FBI on the 26th of March. Wah, wah. As it's important to keep in contact with mates all around the world, especially in this time, I spoke to a mate of mine in Florida, Zen Devin, and this is how it went. Hang on, look, before we get started, we've got to be safe. Let's be responsible. You know what to do. Let's just...
I wonder if this is going to blow out my mic.
I'm, I can never get these gloves on. I wouldn't make a very good gynecologist. That'll do. So we'll just... Oh, alcohol fresh.
You know what? I'm booted out of the medical community already.
This smells like my Uncle Jimmy now.
Well, okay. I must have put a few drops of good oil in here because mine smells good.
Now, so you're in lockdown in Florida or self-quarantine in Florida at the moment?
Well, I'm doing self-quarantine. It has been recommended here for, to self-isolate for a couple of weeks now. But my daughter flew in from Spain 1 week ago tonight. So because she was in a crowded airport, I figured probably better if we both just lock it down a little bit. That being said, I have run out to Walmart to the pickup area where people are kind of going a little berserk in the parking lots, getting angry with people for making them wait. I tried to hand her a $5 bill and say thank you. She looked at me like, what?
Are you having the toilet roll situation there as well?
Oh, toilet paper sold out. But here's the deal. There is a Dollar General store and a dollar store. And so for the past 2 weeks, I've been going in, and just because it makes me, I thought that's too paranoid for me. I'd go in and buy a couple. So I have enough for 3 months. Yep. I bought a 4-pack
We've had
every other day.
We've had fights in the shopping centers here
Yes.
over fucking toilet paper. It's just ridiculous.
I know. No, it's insane. And those hoarders, though, I have a few words for the hoarders that went in immediately and bought pallets. What's up with that? Were you planning to sell it back to me at $5 a roll? I mean, what's the story?
So what's the current mood over there? As I said, you're in Florida.
Yeah.
What is the mood of people generally?
Well, generally speaking, most people are still going out about their business. I mean, the grocery store parking lots, I went out for a ride the other day, they're packed. Okay, so people are shopping as usual. And I actually, because my daughter was shut in with me, we went down to the beach 2 days ago and we stopped at a beach. It was literally packed. I said, we can't be here. This is ridiculous. This is spring breakers. And they were like shoulder to shoulder on the beach. It was nuts. So I said, no, we're going to a social distance beach. And because I know the area pretty well, we went to a beach that was literally empty. I mean, there were people 40 feet away from us and there were people 20 feet to the left. But, if you're not looking for that, what are you doing? So, of course, Brevard County shut down all the beaches because what else do you do when you have, I won't say the word idiot, but yeah, okay, idiots, partying shoulder to shoulder. I mean, what else do you do but say, stop that, and close it off? Yeah. And then people will wonder, why do we have martial law? Well, because you won't shut it down for 2 weeks, We could get into all kinds of reasons why this is happening as a global pandemic. Happy to go there with you some other time or tonight. But seriously, while it's happening and there are people getting sick, just do your best. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, get your
Well, everyone has to do their part.
go get your snacks, which I have already blown through half of ours already, and it's been 7 days.
I bought a whole lot of dried meats just in case it went to shit here in China. I've already eaten them just like beef jerky with a couple of beers. It's like, oh, this is good. And I'm like, oh, look, I've eaten my rations.
Yeah, we're calling it the Quarantino 15. In honor of Quentin Tarantino, of course. But yeah, oh my God. Yeah, it's something else. But, the feeling is a little bit tentative. Like the last time that I did go into a store about, I'm going to say 6 days ago, and everybody was keeping social distance, but everybody was looking at each other like, you got the code?
Yeah, don't clear your throat.
Got the Rona? Yeah, God forbid you have hay fever.
And see, as I say that, I want to clear my throat. It's terrible. And I found that every time I go out, because we have mandatory mask wearing here in sunny old Nanshan in China.
Oh, yeah.
And you go out and you wear your mask, and for some reason, whenever I wear my mask, it pinches something, just irritates my nostrils. And I want to sniff all the time, or I want to stick my finger up there and give it a good scratch. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. It's like having my hands tied. I can't do a bloody thing.
It's bizarre. I mean, when I was at the store, I heard somebody, and they literally just cleared their throat. It wasn't even a cough. And everybody kind of did this, kind of casually, like, could that person possibly be spreading the Rona around town? And I mean, this is the climate right now. It's all very suspect. And listen, there's older folks, and Florida has an aging population. That's how it is. So they're hunkering down.
Yep. Now, your young one, Lily, she came in from Spain, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty serious out there as well, or has gotten a little serious out there now.
Yeah. Italy was full on shit show, and Spain was starting to climb rapidly. And once things hit, people will argue, oh, the regular flu kills a lot of people also. Well, this is true, but not in exponential numbers. When things go from 70 to 140 and then 140 to 280, and then you get into the thousands with that's fast. And
in such a quick amount of time as well.
Exactly. So if you're not self-isolating, you can argue, till the cows come home about who started it and what's going on with it and is it real and blah, blah, blah. But we don't want to clog up the hospitals. That's why that whole hashtag flatten the curve thing came out, because they don't have enough. And I'll speak about just the U.S., for a variety of reasons. I won't get political about it, but there's not enough medical masks and gowns and hazmat looking suits to go around. And people are getting panicky and weird. So they're going in for tests when they really don't need the test yet. But people who do need tests, some of them hopefully are being sent to drive-thrus, which are now popping up. But some areas just don't have enough test kits. So what do you do with that? Because literally until you're in the respiratory stage, there's not much they can do about it. It's a virus. It's not like you can say, oh, here, take this and everything's groovy, I mean, it's not like that.
Well, apparently a certain president needed the CDC investigatory office somewhere to store his wigs, so he disbanded that department or something, the investigations. It was like...
Cut the funding.
How do you do that? Like, Every government has one.
We haven't had a pandemic in a while, so why should we spend money preparing for one? That makes no sense.
Of course. Put it towards the wall. Put it towards the wall.
That's
All
it.
right.
Well, isn't that funny that Mexico shut the border? I thought, wouldn't that be ironic if they built a wall and just said, keep your funky COVID.
Wouldn't it be ironic if they could actually fucking do it?
Oh, and then send the tab to the... That'd be hilarious. But you know what?
Canada will probably pick up the tab for him.
Part of a NAFTA agreement that everybody could get behind. Oh my gosh, too funny. But you know, I've been watching the CDC updates pretty much every day, just for a couple minutes. I mean, it's the same story, and you know, just hunker down, do the right thing, and just if we just shut everything down for 2 weeks and then reassessed, we'd have a better picture about what's actually going on, right? But people are still saying it's a conspiracy, it's this, it's that. You know what? Stay home and spout that stuff on your own YouTube channel. This will give you a chance to, you know, get your face seen and get your opinions out there because you clearly want to voice them. Do it.
Where do you think this is all going?
Wow.
Personally.
Yeah. See, this is I think it's a reset on an economic scale, and this is the best way to, in my mind, is it's a bit of when Trump started all this with China and renegotiating. I said back then, I think it might have even been to you, but I said it to a few people. He just shook the tail of a sleeping dragon.
Oh yeah.
So
he didn't shake it. He pissed on it.
He pissed on it, shook it, and lit a match under it after peeing on it. So yeah, you know what? And I thought, okay, the backlash is going to probably be pretty swift. And China started off soft and sweet, right? They stopped taking our garbage. That's something that Americans don't give a shit about anyway, right? I mean, I don't mean that. I'm an American, but they don't care, you know, because that's a small part of business. So nobody's paying attention. Then they escalated from there. Then you've got, you know, other things that occurred. Now they've got sanctions, you know, because we're negotiating about what phase one actually is. And so there are things not coming in. Now, the interesting thing to me, though, is that if you're going to piss on the dragon's tail, light it on fire, and shake it at the same time, you probably should have taken the manufacturing of the 150 life-threatening drugs that we get from there daily and put it in Mexico as part of that agreement. We should have done that 2 decades ago, by the way.
I saw one of the local rags here from Hong Kong is that China actually sent a whole lot of medical aid and masks.
No, it gets a brief mention, but you know, then we have.
Oh, it did it?
Yeah, but yeah, very brief as an aside, because you know, someone in charge is busy saying, over the past 3 years, I've done X, Y, and Z, and it's, you know what, stick to what we're talking about, which is the current crisis and situation. Stop talking about your accomplishments. We all know you deserve a gold star on your forehead, okay? But just stop.
You're very good.
You're very, very good.
So yourself personally, what's your plan?
My plan is to just continue to work from home. Lucky for me, I mean, I live in a community where I go out for a bike ride. I can go for a walk here. My girl went for a run this afternoon. So, you know, there's fresh air. It's a community where it's an enclosed sort of park situation. So we're not running on big public roads or anything like that. So I can get out and get fresh air. And out in my driveway tomorrow, I'm going to set up a pickleball court.
What is a pickleball court?
Pickleball is a game. It's not that new, but it's picking up popularity, I guess, because aging people don't really want to swing a tennis racket and do all that anymore, because I know it was wrecking my shoulder. But it's a much lighter ball. It's a smaller court, and it's played a little bit more up at the net.
You can play it on a walking frame?
What's that?
You can play it on a walking frame?
What's a walking frame? What does that mean?
You know, the walking frame.
No, walkers are not allowed on the court. You still have to be able to move around pretty fast.
Well, if they do, they've got to replace their divots. I'm not quite sure.
But no, you still have to be able to move pretty fast. So it is for active boomers. Okay, boomer? Oh, you're not a boomer.
I am kind of a boomer. I'm the lost era.
Yeah.
I really don't. There's no I'm unidentifiable which is normally what.
Lost tail end of the boomer era. Yeah, because there really isn't a thing with your Gen Z people. They're not cohesive.
So if people want to have a listen to you, where can they find you? Where can they listen to you?
Zen at the Zen Hypno Den. I am currently on Anchor.fm, Spotify, as well as several other podcasting platforms.
As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Please, my darling, keep safe, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Okay, great. You too. Keep wearing your mask.
Bye.
A very sterile device.
Disinfect!